Scottish whip.
Right. Alright.
Right there.
Alright, watch your heads, alright. Watch your heads on here if you need.
Thank you.
Just watch your head on the top. Alright,
10, 11, 12. 12.
12. Yeah. Watch your heads.
Okay, watch your heads.
Thank you. We are just about to cross the aqueduct. This is where the canal crosses the River Sal. If you're lucky, you might be able to see the river. It's on the right hand side is the best view as I'm looking, and it's where the new fencing is. And that is where the River Sal passes underneath the canal. Yes, this is the original canal junction here. All the plants you can see here were planted when this development was made to try and maintain the green corridor that the canal provides for wildlife. It is important that it is an important highway for animals now. Along this site you sometimes see deers, rabbits, unfortunately the odd mink. But I haven't seen, I have every now and then seen a rabbit scoot across the new car park, but that used to be a bit of wasteland there, so it's probably not as many as they used to be.
You don't have otters?
We don't have otters now, I'm afraid. We have English crayfish though, still in this section of canal. They haven't been completely overrun, and we have great crested newts. The water quality, and I'm not an expert on water, it's grade 2, and we do have otters at other sites in the city, although they haven't really, we've got their prey, the crayfish, we've got everything that they need really, we haven't seen any, but we do have mink up here, and although there's, if a mink sees an otter it will retreat. We're trying to get rid of the mink in the city as a whole to preserve the water bowls, but they're not that easy to catch. It's almost like they don't want to be caught. Called a winding hole, not a winding hole, because the effect of the wind is quite important when turning a large boat round. This one was created by a bomb in the Second World War, which breached the canal bank and caused it to collapse and widen the canal, but rather fortuitously didn't cause a full breach, and therefore, because it was quite useful having a turning point here, it was just left. Outside, that was the old bed, the old conveyor belt that used to take the coal off the boats into the factory. This factory still operated until 2007, and it used to be one of the best places to fish on the canal here because the factory, as you can see by these grills, their water intakes used to take water from the canal to cool the machinery in it and then pump it back out. Because the water around here was warmer than anywhere else, you tended to get the biggest fish here. But sometimes that's frowned upon.
It's really bad.
So what was your impression of for today's canal trip?
Well, I've been on canals before, and it's always impressed me how innovative, entrepreneurial, and engineering the canal makers were. It's 300 years ago, and the impression is that it's still in existence, and there's still lessons for us in the 21st century to learn from. We've been having a rail and canal and road system for 300 years. We still can't think of a new way of transporting people around, and we're still using systems which are 300 or 200 years old. So it's good lessons to have use them.
What was your impression of today's journey trip?
My impression of this journey is it's very relaxing. It's a good place to see a different side of the landscape, almost an internal side of the landscape.
Have you been on the canal before?
I went on the canal when I was a little boy, but not for 40 years, so it's almost like a new experience.
So what was your impressions of today's trip?
On today's trip, it was a very beautiful trip, very calm and quiet setting, and I was thinking about how different experience it was for different people. Some were sitting, some were walking around. I think we all had quite different experiences, which was very nice and interesting.
Have you been on any canals anywhere in Europe similar to this sort of setup before?
No, I don't think I have been on any other canal tours before.
And from an educational point of view, what would you take away from today, either in the methods of teaching or in some of the things you've learned, or even just inspired you while you was here? Anything you'll take away with you?
I will take away the fact that I think we all had very different experiences. I think that's important to have allow people to have different experiences.
Okay, so what was your impression of the canal trip today?
It's very impressive for me. I think seeing different people here in Coventry, and the most exciting thing was the living people in this tour, in these places. It was very exciting for me. I think I've never seen the people living on river or canal before. It was very exciting for me. In Coventry was very different for me, was because it's the first time I've been in Coventry and in UK too. It was good for me, except maybe meals. I really, it was hard to eat for me, different for me. That's all, I think.
Okay, and you've not been, have you been on a boat on a river before, on a canal? Have you ever done river boats before?
Yes, but not as this. Yeah, the very short trip maybe in Turkey, maybe Fethiye, Karadeniz. Very short trips there, but in this long, no, it's the first time.
And from the point of view of the educational side of things, did you learn anything, or was there any methods you would take away from the educational side of today?
Yeah, I think so. It will be very good for my students. I study in university as a professor. I'll tell for them all the things, livings as here. it will be very exciting for them too, I think.
Wonderful.